Hi friends, my name is Jim Sherman and I've been a history teacher for 26 years, and recently my school adopted the ALICE protocols for an active shooter scenario. ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. Basically the idea is figure out what the heck is going on, get out of there if you can. If you can't, you kind of barricade and fight back if necessary. So that kind of fits in a little bit better with my style of thinking versus our old like huddle in a corner type of a theory. In your home, you have fire extinguishers and smoke detectors. In your car, you have spare tires and maybe emergency flares or something like that. And you never think about a spare tire until you need a spare tire. And in a classroom or where you work, think about the amount of time you spend where you work. A little bit of preparedness might make a huge difference. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the contents of my Go bucket. You can change it around. You can do whatever you want with yours. Remember, please, that because I'm in a school, there are things I can't put in my Go bucket. I'm not going to put anything that's dangerous. In my Go bag, for instance, at home, you're going to see different things, but not in a school situation. So let me show you what I have, and hopefully it will make your life potentially a little bit safer. All right, I've decided I'm just going to put this on my comfy chair so that you can see everything. You can get these buckets at Ace Hardware for about $5 to $6, depending. They also have them at Home Depot and Lowe's. This is key. People think this is dumb. That is a toilet seat. Why is that a big deal? Because if you're in a lockdown like they were recently, not too far away from me, for 4 hours, that's key, because otherwise you're going to have people using the bathroom in the wastebasket. This is so much better, and it acts as a cap. All right, now that the cap's off, I'm going to show you guys some of the items. Really simply, this is just a piece of a rope. It's not a full rope. You can buy one rope and cut it. This is only about 8 feet of rope, but on one end, this is key. On one end, I put a loop. This loop goes around my door handle. On the other end of the rope, I tied a whole bunch of knots. You can get a whole bunch of kids to hook this to the door and pull. No one's going to open your door. Also, just a journal, because you might want to write down notes about what's going on. This is just a regular old tarp. This is necessary for a couple of reasons. One, privacy issues. Two, covering someone if they need to be covered, if they're injured. Really important. The first aid kit. This is just a general first aid kit, but know what's in it, know how to use the stuff. Really important. Toilet paper. Duct tape. You should have duct tape anywhere that you are going to be. This is huge. Duct tape can be used to help barricade your door. It can also be used to treat wounds. I don't recommend it. I've done it. But or it can also be used to, well, frankly, tape somebody up if they need to be bound. Small blanket. This is kind of a cool one. This, my friends, is a Mylar emergency blanket. Very important in case someone is injured. You can get a whole bunch of these pretty cheaply. These just happen to come with the toilet seat. They're liners for this bucket. You want a liner for the bucket. Whoa! A bunch of water bottles. I like the small ones because they fit in real easy. So get a whole bunch of these, as many as you want to throw in there. I also do this. This is in case you have a student who has diabetes. This is huge. Little glucose packet. I put a whole bunch of granola bars, usually ones that I don't like. If they're ones I like, I'll eat them. So I put the ones I don't like in here. a little flashlight. Now, check the batteries too. You usually aren't going to need a flashlight, but it's good to have one. Also, it can act as a distractor. Same thing with this. Silly little thing. This is a whistle. It can also be used as a distractor, or you can tell younger students to listen for the whistle. That's a possibility that I hadn't even thought about. This one's kind of neat. This is a window breaker. And what you do with this, really simply, is you put this end up against the corner of a window. And it will release a metal pin that will break the window. And if you have to escape using a window, this is a lot better than throwing a stapler at a window or throwing a chair at a window. This isn't going to hurt anybody. A chair that ricochets can hurt someone. This is really a simple device. By the way, keep one in your car also. It has a seatbelt cutter right there. And if your vehicle goes underwater, your electrical system will not open your windows. Sorry to scare you. I like to have numerous rubber gloves, pen. You want to also have any kind of hand sanitizer. Just so you know, in our regular building, we have tons of sanitizing gear because of COVID. One of the things that you didn't see me pull out of my Go bucket was something called a distractor. And what Alice uses in their drills is little red balls. That's not going to do much to someone who is intent on causing harm. And so the best that you might consider doing, apart from grabbing a stapler or something like that, or a really big set of scissors, is a rock. Fill this full of some rocks if you want to. Or what I suggest, because I'm in a school, is going to the athletic director and asking for used golf balls. Imagine how fast you can wing a golf ball at somebody. Pass those out to people in your classroom or in the workplace, and it's better than nothing. When I put all of this together, minus stuff like the water and the food, it ends up costing about 60-some bucks. Now, if you go online, you can find Go buckets for like a classroom for $80-some. What you're paying for mostly is packets of water. Not terribly effective. And so this is just a better idea. If you want it to be less expensive, you don't need to have a tarp. You don't need to have the toilet seat necessarily. I do, because I think it's important for my kids. But overall, you know, you're looking at, I don't know, 2.5 weeks of cafe mocha lattes at Starbucks, and cost-wise, and if for nothing else, it's going to give you a little bit of sense of control in a horrible situation. Something else you might consider is if you go in with a bunch of other people, it's a lot cheaper. Number one, you can get these if you ask and say you're from a school. I bet you places like Home Depot and Lowe's will give them to you. All right, that's going to knock, you know, $6 to $12 off of your overall cost. Next, the window breakers are expensive if you buy them alone. They can be up to $10, but if you buy them in bulk, they end up costing like between $3 and $6. The whistles, buy them in bulk, right? All that stuff. Get together with a whole bunch of people in your hallway or a bunch of your friends at school. Get together, work together, and then you can make the cost something that's not that big of a deal. Frankly, this is something that schools probably should provide for their workers and for the protection of their students. So why not ask and see if maybe you could get some donations, or maybe the school could decide, hey, we want to keep people safe, and this is something that we think is important too. And so Hopefully you never, ever, ever have to worry about any of these things in your go bucket. You never have to touch it and you forget that it's there. Kind of like the spare tire on your car. Thanks, guys. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and good luck. Thanks for listening.